Hello and welcome to the shop. By shop, I mean side of Interstate 44 on a small little exit ramp. I'm Jared and this is the Questionable Garage. If you remember from our last episode, we introduced our 1966 Chrysler New Yorker that I actually bought just for the engine. And I decided the car deserved a proper send-off. One last epic road trip rather than just being unceremoniously, ripped apart. So I flew into Indianapolis. We're at Travis Bell's house. We spent one incredibly long day and then part of my travel day working to make this thing road worthy. And I covered 300 miles. And then suddenly there was a tremendous amount of smoke from the back of the car. And I'm here waiting for a friend who's about an hour and change away. It's gonna be a long day. So yes, we did cover nearly 300 miles without incident. So let's go back to the time-lapse footage when things were going a whole lot better, and then I'll bring you up and show you what broke. So yeah, beautiful drive. We got to see the arches, made it through St. Louis. The car was cruising amazing. And if my math was to be believed, and the tank actually took a full load of fuel, we did a stretch of 17 miles a gallon. Feels optimistic, but we're going with optimistic because that's the vibe. We're gonna be happy and things are gonna go well. So what went wrong? Let's jump underneath and you'll see me when I was trying to call my friend to tell him what to bring, some bad cell phone footage and what I discovered. All right, so when you have air shocks, they need air to do their job, and they can't have air if your lines pop off. So we're gonna get that fixed. We have help on the way with a bigger hammer, and we'll give ourselves some wheel tunnel tolerance, but yeah, we will hopefully be able to just put that line back together and be in some sort of business. Yeah, the airline went poppity pop off, and when that happens, everything collapsed in, and we were rubbing our tires. I was trying to make it to a different exit, but we were smoking way too much. We've got tolerance right now because I've got it jacked up with a floor jack and a jack stand underneath and a chock in the front. We can come around here to the other side. It was rubbing really bad over here. So they're no longer our desert storms. They're just kind of burnt rubber. That is not how you want to burn rubber. We're gonna hang out. It's gonna get dark, and when reinforcements get here, we'll pick you guys back up and show you how we're gonna fix it. Well, hey, welcome back to the shop in the middle of our amazing road trip adventure. Some would say going out for those drives is good for your mental health and for mental clarity, even though it's sometimes stressful. But May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's something that I actually take very seriously and hold near and dear to my heart. A lot of you are guys, and as guys, we're told we have to be tough, we have to be strong, and we can't ever show emotion. And I want to tell you that's wrong. There is nothing wrong with ever getting help. But as guys, one of the things that is hardest for us to do is to get the help we need. And sometimes it's as simple as not knowing where to start, and that is where today's sponsor, BetterHelp, is one I'm incredibly excited to share with you. I have been familiar with BetterHelp for a very long time. It is something that our family has utilized to help find therapists and get us through some difficult times. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp being 100% online, you're able to get paired with the best therapist that is going to have experiences themselves that help relate to you. Finding the right therapist has never been easier. Now, with their pool of over 30,000 licensed therapists, you go online, answer some questions about what you're looking for in therapy and what you specifically need, and they're able to work through that pool of therapists and get you paired up with the right one. And then once you get paired up, it's up to you how you want to talk with them. It can be text, emails, video calls, voice calls, whatever you're comfortable with to get started. You can message your therapist at any time and work to schedule a live session whenever it's convenient for you. And if at any point you find the therapist just isn't a good fit for you, you're able to change and find a new one free of charge. Having gone to in-person therapy, that is a huge benefit. With BetterHelp, you're able to get the same quality, professional experience that you would in person, but at home with a therapist custom picked for you, with more scheduling flexibility and at a more affordable price. You can save 10% off your first month by heading over to betterhelp.com/questionablegarage. I've also got it linked down in the description below. BetterHelp is something our family believes so strongly in that we have actually reached out and gifted our friends several months membership when they were going through incredibly difficult times. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/questionablegarage. Link is right there in the description below for those who want to just click on over. Once again, thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and allowing me to kind of share with you a little bit more about the importance of taking care of your mental health. Hello.
Hello.
If you don't know, Robert Dunn, Aging Wheels, you're going to quit answering my phone calls though. Because the last time we were talking, you came to Georgia, we were going to do fun stuff, but instead we built a fence and you immediately raced home without doing any of the fun stuff.
Well, I mean, that wasn't exactly your fault.
No, but here I am.
These wheels are hideous on this car.
Actually, it looks pretty good from when it's not in a really weird stance and the skirts are on it. But the skirts have to be off of it for normal driving.
This is the kind of car that was designed for little tiny piano caster wheels, not...
Yeah, that's why it looks so cool.
You know, 2-inch throw. What do you need?
So the airline popped and it went right back on. So we should be able to just pump up air and in theory not have to hammer anything. But if it popped once, it might do it again.
Well, I have bad news and good news. With the EcoFlow, I tried it out because of the huge inductive load of an air compressor.
It doesn't start.
Kicked it off. So I brought my whole air compressor fully charged.
Well, that'll work. So what we're gonna do is put air, we're gonna pull these tires off, hammer everything up really good, and then I'll be back on the road. Bob's Roadside Service. We get her done. Good, right? Good?
Good slogan. I'm sure it's not trademarked at all.
And that's all we were touching right there. Oh, wait, you brought a brass hammer.
I did just have this one.
We need to get you some hammers, sir. But we're gonna try to... Dave suggested knocking that out before I left, you know? Would have been a good idea. But here I am on the side of Interstate 44 with Bob's whole entire air compressor. The whole thing.
Well, I don't have a travel-sized one.
Good point. Well, it is a lot darker than the camera makes it. But we are on the ground and the back is in the air like it should be. So I'm also leaving a substantial amount of the New Yorker behind. When we were crunching in that side, it dropped a little bit. But we are in a dark little corner and I can now show off these lights. Holy cow. That, I believe, was low beam and then high beams. I wish we had the old ones on for comparison. That is just insane to have that much light coming off of 66. So I'm pretty amped, but I'm also really tired and I have 4 hours to go. So I'm going to thank Bob one more time. If you're not following him, Aging Wheels, you really should, or Underdone if you're into woodworking, watching a guy handle his wood in a workshop alone. Or watch the EV swap. Both are good. Thank you, Robert. Good night. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Well, good morning. I actually slept last night. We made it to the hotel, and only a small rainstorm. We're about to look the car over and start a 13-hour drive day. It's gonna be great. So we've got a ton of driving just to get done. So anytime you're doing something this questionable, wake up, jack the car up, make sure your wheels aren't falling off, the suspension hasn't broken, check your fluids, your oils, make sure there's no new unexpected leaks, and then fill it up with gas and hit the road. Get out there and do it. The squeaking. The squeaking. Well, if you notice, I'm enjoying the right seat of our New Yorker. I'm finally just getting to live the comfortable life, which means my co-driver for this insane adventure has arrived. And if that Southern Classic is any hint, hi Henry.
Hi guys.
Why is it every time I'm really getting into something silly, I somehow rope you into it?
Just lucky, I guess.
Now, how many of your friends believe that you co-hold a cannonball record?
I think it's total 6 right now. 6 people buying. 6.
There's video evidence, and they still deny it.
Yeah.
Do they also believe the Earth is flat? But New Yorker is doing fantastic. We're learning its quirks. We're learning the appropriate amount of fluid that does drain from it at each stop. Drive friendly the Texas way. That might be the biggest lie ever told. So behind me is a series of vintage Cadillacs buried in the ground outside Amarillo, Texas. It's an art installation that's been here for many years, and in person it's not as exciting as you think it might be, but I have always wanted to see it. I think it's something every car guy at some point in their life has wanted to see, because it's just a part of car culture, art culture, and it's kind of cool. I've been past this 6 or 7 times, twice been told no to stopping, and the rest of the time it just wasn't an option. So we're here, finally. I get to come up and see the buried Cadillacs, be unimpressed in person, but incredibly excited to actually finally do it. We're here at Lenny's place, Redline Racing in El Paso, because we developed a more than acceptable oil leak. You can kind of see us leaving our trail on our way in, and I was dreading that the rear main seal that we thought was good suddenly wasn't good, or the oil pan was beyond our acceptable limits. And after cleaning, Lenny gave us several cans of brake cleaner that if you entered California with, you would be promptly arrested. That's how you know it's the good stuff. It's not legal for California. And we were able to fire it up, and we saw the oil coming from the top. Actually, I may be able to show you better a little on this side. You have pressurized oil galleys, and that is why you have that one wire sensor. That's your oil pressure sensor. And on the opposite side, there is a galley plug, and that is just pouring oil out. Most likely because they forgot Teflon. You don't have to put a lot of it, but you need to put a little bit of thread sealant on your galley plugs and other fittings like that. Otherwise, they're going to start vomiting oil. So, best case scenario, potentially, we just take it out, clean it up, Teflon, and we are good to go, which gives us time to do some extra would-be nice. But enjoy some eye candy of the things here in the shop at Lenny's, because there's some really cool stuff here. We are on the ground. That oil leak ended up not being catastrophic, but there's nothing else wrong. It was just that fitting. We've got a power line ran to the interior so we can charge all of our devices. A mess on the ground, and in keeping with tradition, we're about to pull out and leave the mess on the ground. Lenny, thank you so much, sir. Here, let me shake your hand.
You're very welcome.
Letting us come in and invade your shop.
Anytime. Good luck.
So I kind of dig everything in the shop. It's a toss-up. It's not a toss-up. The Camaro is kind of my favorite. So, you're getting ready to do some vintage racing with that and have fun. Thank you again. We've got a few more stops to go, but thankfully, maybe Parker. We haven't bonded to give it a name yet. We already have a leaker in the fleet, but we are back on the road. Well, we are into the first day of the Dust Ball Rally. It's been a very interesting start to the day. Unfortunately, the organizer had a medical issue, and we just kind of all had to get together, come up with the route that we knew we were going on, and we're out on the adventure. We're making do, we're not sniveling, and we're driving the cars. That's not the New Yorker behind me, though, because it's right there. This thing is being a champion. We are now in the copper mine. Running up, this is where with Honda Rousey, we actually had to stop every 4 minutes because it was boiling over and transfer coolant back. She's a little warm, but not critical. We are making it up. It is handling-ish, but we're here. We're doing a good thing. Tom has been our shadow to make sure we're well cared for. This is JP. He was in the bus with us, and we passed him. There's an over-under of how many vehicles we're gonna pass. That's 4. We're at 3 on day 1. We only need 1 more, and we get it. But I don't know if we can even come close to the scale of this place. If you have ever seen the giant mine trucks that, well here, let me hold you up. If you've ever seen those giant mine trucks, that's them down there. This place is just insane and beautiful. How's the roads? JP first.
JP. Scout of the road is good.
Okay.
Just have to get around some traffic.
What about Hans? How does Hans feel about being passed by a 1966 American classic?
You know, in Germany, we fill in our holes once we're done with them.
They're not done.
Oh, they're still going?
They're still digging.
Well,
They haven't found oil yet.
I believe they'll be digging for another 100 years here. It's fantastic.
Remember when I was talking about how big those dump trucks are? Here, can you hold that for me, sir?
This is gonna make Jared look small.
This is the bed of one of those dump trucks.
Where are you, Jared? I can't see you.
Yeah, so that's how big they are and how far down that whole thing is. This is... The New Yorker's doing work climbing these hills. It's not easy. And then this is one of the tires.
That's bigger than the tires on your car, Jared.
Yeah.
Jeez, look at that.
Tire's bigger than Jared.
8,600 pounds. 8,600 pounds there. That's almost as much as the New Yorker. So we picked a scenic spot. The car is running great. Our desert storms are not holding air. There was a giant rock in the road and insufficient time to avoid it, and we now have a giant hole in the sidewall. So no cell service, 30 plus miles to the nearest town. So the benefit is there's no computers to worry about. Anything that can bolt to it will keep us going. So our friends Tom, Henry's going to jump in, Jill, they're going to run to town with this in the tiny chance they have a tire that size and just look for anything to bolt onto it to get us rolling. And then I'll be hanging out here, enjoying the scenery. Still here, side of the road. Had some popcorn snacks and some granola snacks. Playing the games I can with no service. One car is driven by so far. We're in a pretty desolate area. Pretty desolate. But also very pretty. Well, it's been 3 hours. Which means the town 30 minutes away didn't have anything useful. I have no cell service. Nobody is within radio range. We might be enjoying a sunset later today. Also, 13 cars in those 3 hours. Not one of them stopped to check. You know, that's a thing. We're not like on a desolate road where it could be a stranded motorist. But still, could be worse. I mean, just look at that. There's definitely worse places to be stuck. Right as my watch was reminding me it was time to once again get up and walk, I hear a truck horn, and Tom has arrived. Maybe more importantly than tires, he brought some food, and we're gonna get this thing together. I don't know what they are. All I know is there's 2 Mopar wheels, so 4 hours. So Mopar wheels.
Mopar wheels from Springdale. Where the hell were we?
From a junkyard.
From a junkyard.
Junkyard. Vintage
Junkyard.
Mopar or modern Mopar?
Probably modern, but
Modern vintage. Early 90s, I would say. Steel.
Okay, and they said it should bolt on.
We checked it 4.5 pattern matches with what we looked up on the interwebs.
Okay,
We're gonna give it a go.
hopefully.
We have no choice.
Of the 17 vehicles that have passed, how many do you think slowed down to say, how are things? Do you need help?
0.
Precisely.
Welcome to modern America.
Oh yeah.
How you feeling, Jared?
I don't get vertigo, but there's something about being the one driving on this spine with sheer drop-offs on either side. It's different. I like had a split second of it, so Henry, you might have to take the wheel.
Yeah, Jesus, take the wheel if that happens.
We are in a parking garage in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, baby!
In the vehicle we have started. Henry and I, this is our third try. Third time's a charm.
Time is definitely the charm.
Apparently the trick was the second oldest vehicle ever to be on a dust ball. That was the tidbit.
Next year, we're gonna do it in a vehicle I built.
That's even more terrifying,
I know,
Henry.
it's more terrifying, yeah.
If it was software based, I'd feel really
that's
good.
a different story, but none of my guys.
What's also amazing is we've got like 2 or 3 dribbles, so we're doing really good on the satellite, but I feel like we have earned our 2-day celebration here.
Hell yes.
So we're gonna celebrate, and you're gonna join me, possibly one other fun person, when I get this thing home, because I thought about flying out. It is the practical thing for my schedule to just fly out and go home. But I don't want to just unceremoniously ship the car back and then tear it all apart. I want to enjoy it one last time, give it one last hoorah, because look at that G. Just it's a beast.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Oh, well, Henry, Thank you, sir.
Hey, man, it was a blast. Had the most fun ever.
Huge thank you to Tom. They're hiding off camera. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
And Jill. They were the tools I should have brought, and parts runner. But it turns out if you actually want to do it, you can drive old crap with carburetors at altitude and not just put them in a trailer.
That is true. Absolutely. I can attest to it.
That vehicle is enjoyed and earned its 2-day break before we go cross country. And that's what you're going to see next. So cheesy lens cap cover. Here, fingers on the lens cap, ready. Transition, cheesy YouTube now. All right, uncheesy lens cap cover. Hey guys, we're in Georgia. There's a lot that happened between that literal last scene in the parking garage and here. So I got to get you caught up because, well, sometimes life, you know, like we're talking mental health and things, we were on an adventure and I kind of enjoyed it and forgot to YouTube the whole thing. But let me just tell you about the route and things that happened. First off, Henry had to fly home and I picked up my friend JP. He was in the musketball bus with us and just overall really good guy. And we set off along with the really nice people in their beautiful Lamborghini, bright yellow Lamborghini, on our way back east. And the first thing we had to do, every car guy is gonna wanna do this, you gotta drive some of Route 66. So we got onto Route 66 pretty quick as soon as we could, and we were heading east. We hit Hackleberry. There was this awesome little gas station there. I picked up, you know, the signature Route 66 sign. It looks distressed, but it's not. While we were sitting there in Hackleberry, it was amazing the number of people that were really just excited to see the stickered up New Yorker and the stickered up Lamborghini. And it's kind of hard to say who got the most attention. It really was kind of split 50-50. Got back on, kept heading east. We hit the Roadkill Cafe because you got to do it while you're on Route 66, right? Now, some of the other things you got to do while you're heading east from Las Vegas, Meter Crater. That is one of the most amazing things I've pulled up and seen. I snapped a couple pictures, just a little bit of B-roll, and you cannot grasp the absolute and just massive size of the hole in the ground from a piece of space rock hitting it. And when you guys go, you absolutely must experience the 4D theater inside. That, for Gretchen, Sean, JP, and I, that's a memory we'll have forever and probably was life-changing. No, it wasn't life-changing, but definitely do it. It was amazing and a ton of fun. And there were a few more things I wanted to see. But we didn't get that far. No, we're not sitting here back in Georgia because we got here under our own power. I had a pretty scary incident in Tucumari. I guess Tucumari is as far as we're gonna come. It's done phenomenal. But the same thing that stops every adventure Henry is on, the wheel bearings. I had just fully serviced these things. They were good, but that outer bearing is completely exploded. And the more I dig to try to find parts to patch it together, it's a custom hodgepodge of parts that I don't know what they are. It could be a Mustang rotor with unique bearings that aren't going to be easy to look up on a catalog. So we're on the side of the road for a little bit. Maybe I can find the kit online and know what bearings we need to put together. But I'll count this as a pretty good thing in the sense that exploded catastrophic. Like, it was just an instant, sudden no bearing, and it was very violent, and I was able to limp it safely into a parking lot. More to come as far as how I finish the 1,200 miles I need to finish to get home. So yeah, I had to call on my friend JP, who needed to move that day and had a full schedule, but he loaded up, rented a truck and trailer, headed on over from Santa Fe, scooped me up from Tucumari, and we drove all the way back to Santa Fe, dropped the car off. I helped him move until 2 in the morning, and I had a 10 a.m. flight out the next day home because I had to get home to the family And unfortunately, the New Yorker did end up getting shipped back here to Georgia, but not without trying. I tried to give it the final great send-off. It did amazing, and this is where I made a huge mistake. I bought it to just get its engine, but I kind of like it now. I'm torn because I have another project I have to have this engine for. That's the whole point of it. And at the end of the day, it's a 4-door C-body Mopar. They're not that cool, but it is cool, but it's not. And I now have this great trip and all these memories with my friends and I don't want it to be the car's end, you know? It needs to carry on somehow. So if you're buying a parts car, don't try to do anything cool with them, because you're going to fall in love with it and then just be where I'm at. You've made a huge mistake, because the whole point of it was to take it apart, and I feel bad doing it. It needs to carry on somehow. So I'm being given something that may go well in this. One, it'll allow me to atone for like all of the environmental sins between the leaks and fuel burning that this car has done. Sort of. We're recycling, and we're not going to burn any more gas to go down the road. Maybe. What do you guys think? Tell me, what do you think we should do with the New Yorker? The big block is being pulled out of it. The transmission is getting pulled out of it. But we need to do something cool with it. It's at the bottom of the project list, though. But let me know what you think. And man, it was fun. I really hoped you enjoyed this whole episode. We ended up with a little bit of wrenching along the way. A very catastrophic wheel bearing failure. Henry has done really well with wheel bearing failures. But Team Mason-Dixon, we finally finished an event, which I'm really excited about. We got that bug off our back, and we're ready for the next one. Again, one more big thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is something that you guys should take seriously. A lot of people like to say it's just in your head, and they're not wrong. It is your brain, but it doesn't make it any less real. BetterHelp is a fantastic resource allowing you to get the help and talk with someone in your home, in your workshop, wherever is convenient for you. And I'm excited that you're able to go ahead and save 10% if you go to BetterHelp, HELP.com/Questionable Garage, or click the link in the description below. So that's a good way to end it, you know? Always make questionable choices, except for when it comes to your mental health. Do what you need to, take care of yourself. And I feel like we got a good community, and look out for each other in the comments below. So until next time, next crazy wild adventure, we'll see you later.